We're back with another episode of the Bald Brad Show. It is Tuesday, February 6th, and Joe Biden, good old Joey, the puppet, the geriatric, the guy that hits a golf ball backwards, falls up a flight of stairs, looks for dead people in the crowd, doesn't know his name, doesn't know his wife's name, gets lost all the time, can't find his way off a stage, and if he does, he trips over a sandbag, is still the worst president by far in American history. Patriots, it's so great to be back with you on this fine Tuesday morning. We got a lot of stuff to cover, and we're going to kick it off here with our lead story of President Joe Biden claiming he met with France's Mirand in 2021. There's just one problem. Been dead for a long time, a very long time. And look, this is not the first time Joe Biden's looked for dead people in the crowd or spoken about meeting with dead people. We have him right here, looking for a congresswoman that's been dead. During his speech, let's roll.
And I want to thank all of you here, for including bipartisan elected officials like Representative Governor, Senator Braun, Senator Booker, Representative Jackie. Are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here to help make this a reality. And thanks to Senator Stabenow, Representative DeLauro for their leadership.
And mind you, he was questioned on this. And what was the White House's response? Meaning Karine Jean-Pierre? Oh, just top of mind. Just top of mind. He was just thinking about her. Well, if he's thinking about her, why is he looking for her in the crowd? She's been gone for quite some time. This gentleman has been gone for a very long time. So President Joe Biden is once again going viral for a gaffe in which he claimed he met with the long-dead leader of France shortly after taking office in the White House as commander-in-chief. The dude's been gone since the 90s. While delivering remarks in Las Vegas on Sunday, ahead of Nevada primary this week, Biden harkened back to a G7 meeting in the United Kingdom and a gathering of NATO leaders that took place in June of 2021, in which a conversation about the U.S. Capitol breach on January 6th apparently came up. So he says this, and I'm going to read it to you, and then we'll play the audio because it's just mind-blowing. I sat down and said, America's back. And Mitterrand from France, looked at me and said, you know why? How long you been back for? Biden recalled invoking François Mitterrand, the former president of France, according to a widely shared post, 2X, by National Pulse editor-in-chief Raheem Kassem, along with a clip of the remarks. So the dude's looking for him, and he ain't there. Here it is. So crazy.
People have pled guilty. You know, right after I was elected, I went to what they call a G7 meeting, all the NATO leaders. It was in the south of England. And I sat down and I said, America's back. And Mitterrand from France looked at me and said, you know, why, how long are you back for? And I looked at him, and the Chancellor of Germany said, what would you say, Mr. President, if you picked up the paper tomorrow in the London Times, and the London Times said, 1,000 people break through the House of Commons, break down.
I'm telling you, this guy's gone. He is not there. Folks, died in 1996, okay? Somehow, this dead person looked at Joe and was at the table with everybody else. It was speaking to him. Oh, Democrats are going to vote for him again in the millions. The dude's meeting with dead people. He's looking for dead people in the crowd. Now they think that he's fit to hold office. So there's a glaring issue with the recollection. This president of France served from 1981 to 1995, but has been dead since 1996, 25 years ago. At a time of the G7 meeting in 2021. Holy crap. It's not the first time Biden suggested that he interacted with this person. At the same meeting, Biden told a similar version of the story, including the same person and blunder in 2022. In both cases, the White House transcripts of Biden's remarks showed the person's name coming up. Oh, it goes on. Biden is known for making gaffes over the years, but those concerns have risen as of late as he seeks a second term for the White House, fueled by the president's age, his tendency to lose his train of thought while speaking, and moments caught on camera where he has tripped or fallen over. Let's not forget the dude has fallen asleep during interviews, like mid-sentence has fallen asleep. That was on a 60 Minutes interview. Biden has earned himself negative press with faulty stories. He's told, including repeating an exaggerated house fire experience, and also the fact that his son died in combat, which never happened. A national poll from the NBC News that was published in June of last year found growing anxiety concerning Biden's fitness to serve, as more than 2/3 of registered voters, 68%, said they have moderate or major concerns about him not having the necessary mental and physical health to be president. Where were these concerns like 3 years ago? Nothing's changed that much. The dude was pooning around. They tried to get him to jog on the stage at times, which was just a hazard within itself. I mean, the guy will keel over. Like I said, White House officials are terrified this guy's going to trip over a cord. It's a real thing, you guys. The White House staff is terrified the guy's going to trip over a camera cable in the Oval Office and break a hip and he's done. Where was this thinking 3 years ago? We were hearing rumors that there was track marks up and down his arms and that Jill Biden was feeding him some sort of drug before the primary debates against Donald Trump. That's why he was somewhat coherent. This guy is just off his rockers, doesn't know where he's at. Who's leading the country is my question. Like, he's the puppet, right? We always say that at the beginning of the show. Like, who's the one controlling the puppet? Is it the Obamas, the Clintons, both, the deep state? If it's a deep state, like, who in the deep state's controlling it? Is it China? Is it the Ukrainians? I mean, who's doing it here? This guy ain't doing it. Are you kidding me? He's thinking he's talking to dead people. They're still going to turn on the millions, you guys. We all saw the clip, 4 more years. They want 4 more years of Joe Biden off his rocker. They love this. That's why you have crime going through the roof. That's why our deficit's going through the roof. That's why we can't pay for anything. Inflation's gone through the roof. Homeless crisis has gone through the roof. Our border's not secure. There's known terrorists in our country. There's unknown terrorists in our countries. I mean, just name it. It's happening. Or this guy, and it totally makes sense because that's not working. Nikki Haley, who's 52 and running for the GOP presidential nomination, began her campaign last Friday by pushing for mandatory mental competency tests for politicians over 75 years old. Why does it have to be over 75? Why can't it just be at like 60? Why can't it just be for anybody going into office? You have to take some sort of test. In an appeal to voters who are dreading a potential 2020 rematch between President Donald Trump, who's now 77, and Biden, who's 81, Haley has taken to calling them grumpy old men. I mean, Donald Trump is sharp. The guy's a billionaire, still runs businesses, goes to tons of meetings. 77, doesn't sound anything like Joe Biden. Completely has his head on straight. He's coherent. But Nikki Haley's going to go after both of them. Why is she still in the race? And I like Nikki Haley. Don't get me wrong. I like her. I enjoyed her books. I think she could have done a better job in her UN ambassadorship. But why is she still running? She's not even close to Trump. Like, what is she doing? A lot of people think, she's a decoy. A lot of people think, she's just there to get Democrats to vote for her to try to beat out Trump. She's just a political pawn to the Democrat Party. Hey, maybe there's some truth to that. But there you go. Joe Biden off his rocker once again, you guys, and nothing's going to change. Oh, nothing's going to change. Well, in other news here, we got a little bit of educational news, and Harvard's back in it with Harvard hosts a gathering to breathe and heal event to help students grieve Claudine Gay's ouster. This is real, okay? A gathering to breathe and heal. Oh, okay. Because somebody was let go for their crazy-ass statements and plagiarizing. Oh, snowflakes, man. This is what you're paying for your kids' education, you guys. You're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to sit there and have a gathering to breathe and heal event. Oh, God, it's so terrible. She's gone. Harvard's Divinity School's Office of Diversity, Inclusion, and Belonging now. I apologize. A gathering to breathe and heal event on Thursday to help students grieve the resignation and disgrace, or rather of disgraced, former President Claudine Gay. It's so good. It's insane. This is the world we live in, man. For this gathering, we will create a space for us to discuss and process the departure of our former president. The event was intended to give participants the opportunity, you guys, to gather, to breathe, and to heal. Gay was forced to resign from her position last month amid allegations of plagiarism in various academic works. Not just one, not just two, but various. That came to light while she was already under immense pressure for her failure to address the rise of anti-Semitism on campus. If anything, the people that need to breathe and heal is probably the Jews, okay? After everything that's gone on since October and just the anti-Semitic protesters that have gone on these campuses calling for Hamas to do various terrible things. Those are probably the people that need to breathe and heal, not these students that are going, oh my God, it's so terrible. It's so wrong. How about his wrong one that she plagiarized, and two, that she actually wouldn't call and condemn basically the acts of Hamas and the things that are going on over there and the atrocities? How about that? Gay was forced to resign from her position last month amid allegations of plagiarism again on various academic works, not just one, but various. The newsletter stated that many students are feeling grief upon their arrival to campus. Oh, it's so bad, Mama. This grief and loss may be connected to our personal lives. National and global unrest, harm and violence. I'm not going to get it through. I'm not going to make it through. Storms and national disasters. Hold on. They're going to equate her ouster with global unrest, harm, violence, storms, natural disasters to her being ousted? Really? These are the same people that are equating January 6th like Pearl Harbor, like World War II, like storming the beaches of Normandy. It's the same. Come on. For many of us, this grief and loss also includes the resignation of former President Claudine Gay after her short tenure. It was too long already. This is not a space for debate. Rather, it's a container for holding our emotions in, community knowing that the circle holds us all. Folks, this is insane. The event was facilitated by these people here that are a part of the inclusion and belonging. The question is like, who actually belongs to this? You know what I mean? Are they really inclusive? Because I'm sure if I jumped in there and started saying my ish, I probably wouldn't be welcomed. I probably wouldn't feel belonged, you know what I mean, to the group. I wouldn't feel like I was really connected to them, like I was being held, you know what I mean? I wouldn't really feel like I was in a safe space, that I'd feel like everybody's accepting of me, you know what I mean? So that happened. We still got more student stuff. Don't worry, folks. We got a lot of news today. Students at California school struggling after $250,000 in federal funds spent on woke kindergarten program. Who could have thought? Who could have thought that this would not have worked? I'll tell you what, the Democrats didn't know. They're baffled by this, you guys, in the same way that Disney is constantly baffled that they lose hundreds of millions of dollars when they try to push a woke movie or a woke agenda. They still can't wrap their head around it. Case in point, I mean, I know I'm kind of deviating from the story, but they're trying to push a all-female lead and cast for Pirates of the Caribbean. They don't get it. They still don't understand. So they're going to destroy that franchise. They destroyed Star Wars. They destroyed Marvel with all the woke agenda and our school system as well. So students at a San Francisco Bay Area, are any of you shocked as to the locality of which they're trying this in? San Francisco, the same place that has a homeless crisis, the same place that naked homeless people are showing their wee-wees and stuff to little school children, the same place that's making school children walk through drug-infested areas just to get on campus, the same place that has crime through the roof, the same place that businesses are fleeing left and right from this area because Democrats don't know how to run the show. Yeah, no, it's this area. Where officials hired a for-profit company called Woke Kindergarten to train teachers are continuing to struggle with some of the lowest math and reading scores in the state. Oh, who could have thought? Now, I just want to preface this, you guys. Remember, there's teachers in this training program that are conservative Republicans that are doing what they have to do, or else they're going to be fired. Mind you, if they're fired, they lose their pension because it's a public school system. The school spent $250,000 in federal funds provided by a program meant to help boost test scores for some of the country's lowest performing schools. So they're already lowest performing. Now, a lot of you can be like, well, it's the woke agenda then, Brad. It must be the woke agenda that's causing all this. Well, no. Before the woke agenda was instituted, it was already declining. So the problem isn't necessarily the curriculum at hand. And I'm going to say something that's probably going to piss a lot of people off. Very rarely, you guys, is it the teachers. The teachers are always teaching. It's the student population. If you got kids in there that are disruptive, probably should remove them from the classroom, but they don't do that anymore. So the kids, you got 4 kids that are disrupting a class of 34. So 30 kids are trying to pay attention while the 4 are just screwing around, creating chaos in the room to the point where you can't teach. As somebody that's experienced it many times, it is a real thing. You can't do your job, so everybody just, everything goes down the poop or down the drain. So how about we start holding kids accountable for their actions, as well as parents too for their kids' actions? And I'm telling you, the education system will change real quick. But since there's no repercussions, there's no consequences for somebody's actions, in the education system, well, then you're going to produce the actions of which you don't want to hold down and be harsh on because you're not being harsh, nor do you want to crack down on it. Well, Brad, that seems kind of extreme and kind of too far. Well, it's not, because they do the same thing with crime. That's why you have crime going through the roof in Democrat-ran areas, and Democrats run the education system, these progressive lefties. And that's why you have crime rising, because they don't want to police it. They don't want to prosecute it. You see that with the DA here in the state of California, specifically Los Angeles. That's why you have crime everywhere. Nothing happens to these people. In the same way, when you have a kid acting up in class or doesn't want to do his homework, doesn't want to study, the blame gets fallen on the teacher, never the student. Well, why? I'll give you a prime example. I know I'm rambling here, but it's important that we understand this concept. Say I'm sitting there as a coach and I'm instructed and being paid by you, the parent, to teach your kid, let's say, hockey. I can show them the correct way to do a slap shot, a wrist shot, or skate. But let's just say they go home and they don't do anything. Like, they don't even do anything until the next time I even see them. They don't practice or nothing. Do you think the next time I see them that they're going to have progressed in their skill in any way, shape, or form? Maybe a little bit, maybe if we're lucky. But it's the same thing for mathematics and schooling. You can't just receive the instructions and then never practice it. You have to go home and practice the very instructions, the information that was given to you, so you can be successful at it. A lot of people don't do that nowadays. A lot of people don't do that. Or if they do it and they're still struggling, they don't want to sit there and put in the extra time to overcome that struggle and actually learn it. So in a 4% drop in both areas, by the way, in the last 2 years, less than 12% of the students at Glassbrook Elementary in Hayward, California can read at grade level, and 4% are proficient in math. And you also have Portland, Oregon. I think it's Portland. You don't have to be proficient in math or English to graduate high school anymore. And this has been going on for decades. I mean, if you look in the early 2000s, there was a school in California that was, not to bring up race, because I don't think race has anything to do with anything, but there was a predominantly African-American school, or I should say black school, that couldn't pass the exit exam out of high school. So they were like, well, this is racist then because they can't pass it. And so they just did away with it. There was no high school exit exam anymore. So we're constantly lowering the standards because it might disproportionately affect a certain group of people. And by the way, it's not just black people that education sits there and hurts. I mean, it's everybody in different proportions. So there's white people that don't graduate. There's black people that don't graduate. There's Hispanic and Asians. Yeah, there's always going to be differences and disparities in data because that's everything to do with somebody's upbringing and their culture. And specifically that individual, whether they value their education or not, is really going to be dependent on their success in the education system or not. So this is a whole thing, but I wanted to bring it up here that I thought it was fascinating. They're still pushing this woke agenda amidst everything that's going on. Well, amidst everything that's going on, something that we talked about in our Sunday episode, if YouTube wasn't freaking censoring us and shadow banning us, we talked about Chip Roy arguing on Senate floor regarding the border package. This is an insane package. And Republicans are reaming us from behind along with Democrats. They're tag teaming us, folks. And for some reason, we're pulling the insanity of the Democrat Party by continuing to elect these knucklehead politicians that aren't doing our backing or our bidding. They speak on behalf of us. They're supposed to do what we want, and they won't do it. So now they push forward this insane legislation in the House. And like I said, when it hits the Senate, it better be dead on arrival. But you have Ukraine getting billions of dollars, upwards of $60 billion, and we get $20 billion for the border. So we have 10 million people plus, by the way, which are some are criminals, okay, some are good people, but some are criminals, terrorists, sex traffickers, drug traffickers, cartel, violent gang members, all that stuff, fentanyl pouring across. So rather than seizing the border, locking it up, and getting that ish handled, they're giving us 20 billion. None of that 20 billion, you guys, that actually goes to fixing the issue. None of it. The border's not going to be secure. So we're just wasting money again that we're going to have to pay interest on because we don't have the money. We don't have 20 billion to spend on it. So we have to borrow it. And then we're going to spend 60 billion in Ukraine, of which they just got done stealing $40 million due to corruption that we covered here. That's never going to get back again. So we're getting reamed by both parties and our elected officials. The question is, why do we keep electing these people then? So you have Chip Roy taking to X here to complain about the shenanigans and the open borders that they basically are continuing to institute. And Democrats are being open about it. Democrats have come out and said the border is going to stay open. It's not going to close. Republicans are going on TV saying, oh, well, after 5,000 a day, if it exceeds 5,000 a day for 7 days on average, then we're going to close it up. No, you're not. No, they're not. No, they're not, you guys. That's why you have to look through the whole thing. There's nothing in there that locks up the border. They're spending, I think it was like 250 million or something like that on a border wall. And by the way, some of that's just repairing old border wall. It's not actually filling in the gaps necessarily. So don't be fooled by this. You're being lied and manipulated by your own party, of which I'm a registered Republican as well. So he says here, you're borrowing 118 billion. 20 billion goes for the alleged border security because he goes alleged. It ain't border security whatsoever. And then everybody else gets 60 billion. And some of this is going towards Israel. Iran's getting 6 billion already, but there was some money going to the Gaza Strip and that humanitarian aid right there. So I think it was somewhere in Ukraine's getting 60 billion, and I think they're getting an additional 2.5 in humanitarian aid. Something you guys need to be aware of. The money that's going to Ukraine isn't just going towards like military aid. We're funding all sorts of things in Ukraine. So once again, we're getting screwed. Americans are getting screwed, both Democrat and Republican, and we keep voting in these knuckleheads. And people go, well, I like this guy. This guy's great. This woman, she's doing awesome. She gave a great speech. She showed up on time. She mostly speaks on behalf. If they don't sit there and do what we're electing them to do, then they need to be out. You might like them all you want, but if they're not doing a good job, if they're not producing results, get rid of them then. You know what I mean? Why are we dealing with this? You guys were getting screwed. Reamed. They're going to allow 1.8 million a year. A freaking year. It's wild. They're going to be giving lawyers to certain illegal aliens. You're still going to have to pay for this, including kids. They're giving them work visas, permits. All of them are going to get that. And they go, oh, well, it's border security. It's going to be secure. We're not going to deport them. We're going to release them. Folks, what they're going to do, and Republicans want to do this as well, they're going to encounter these people at the border. They're going to process their paperwork, at least get it started, give them court dates 7 to 10 years in the future, and give them ankle bracelets. They've already tried this. Ankle bracelets get taken off and thrown in the trash. The other thing they tried was giving them cell phones, so they had a way to get in touch with them, but their court date was 7 years in the freaking future. These phones are being found in rivers, lakes, trash cans, all over the place. It ain't working. And by the way, if they don't show up for their court dates, they're supposed to be deported, but Democrats are coming out going, well, I don't think that's right because we weren't able to get in touch with them. We tried to communicate with them and, maybe they just weren't home. I'm not kidding. Yeah, they weren't home, meaning they know where they live. So why are they still here if we know where they live? They should be gone. These are the same illegal immigrants. You guys are getting $84,000 a year. They're getting $9,000 in rental assistance. I pay rent. Where's my rental assistance? I pay taxes here. They get free meals, of which they complained about. So now they're getting multiple meals a day for free. They get free health care in the state of California and health care that covers their transition surgeries. All this is going on. Democrats are all for it, you guys. And guess who's with them? Now it's Republicans. You guys. This is insane. It's so wild. So check out yesterday's episode. We cover all of this on Chip Roy. We cover what's actually in the bill, the shenanigans of it, and more stuff's still coming out because it's 300-something pages. And you have here, is there Arizona border county officials blunt message to Congress to reject immigration bill, shut down the border. No, they're not going to shut it down. And you got to love how Arizona border county, they don't care, man. They haven't cared about you guys for 3 years. In the same way they haven't cared about Texas for years. So they can sit there and shout, lock it up all they want. They're not going to do it. Congress should reject the Senate's border security bill and any other legislation that doesn't cut off and eliminate all illegal entry into the United States. Correct. Why are we... There was a clip, and I like Peter Ducey's dad. I think his dad's Doug Ducey, right? Or something like that. I like Peter Ducey's dad on Fox and Friends. But he's like, well, they have to negotiate or something. No, we don't. We negotiate what? This should be its own separate package. Why are we lumping it in with Ukraine? 2 separate things. They get 2 separate things. They can't do it. Fine. It's either all or nothing, man. Walk away from the table. But they don't want to do it. Trump better get this right when he's president, man. I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be pissed. Do not vote yes on the bill. There are thousands of people on their way. There's a pipeline in the United States. You see them in airports. You see them in police stations, sleeping on the floor. You see them in cities that are unable to care for these people. They have the resources to do it, or they don't have the resources, rather, and simply because these numbers continue to multiply on a daily basis. Biden has the authority. He has the legal authority to shut down the border, and he's not willing to do it. Why is he not willing to do it? He doesn't want to, you guys. It's that simple. He doesn't want to shut down the border. If he wanted to, he could do it in an hour. That's not an exaggeration. The laws are already on the books that he can execute. And we've talked about this all the time. As the executive branch, your job is to execute the laws in the books. He doesn't want to do it. That's just plain and simple. The dude doesn't want to do it, and he's not going to. If, I've said it, if he wanted to do it, it would have been done already. For those that are longtime listeners of the Will Brad Show, I've been utilizing this saying for years. There's a reason why. Because of the law. Because of the law. He doesn't want to do it. Which, you have House Republicans push Biden to fix border catastrophe through executive action. Thank you. But House Republicans, why don't you do the bidding of your party? Why don't you stop this from happening? Why don't you rise up to the occasion a little bit here? Because even Republicans are being a little bit loosey-goosey here. So a group of 64 House Republicans is demanding the president uses executive powers to address the border crisis, a pointed message as White House and the Senate negotiators work on a compromise to address the issue. Speaker Mike Johnson wrote in December of 2023 urging you to take executive action to secure the southern border. House Republicans have passed H.R. 2 legislation that would help stop the flow of illegal immigration and protect our communities. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. So you're being lied to again by House Republicans. Again, registered Republican here. Not happy. Pissed about it. Your actions alone created this catastrophe. And you have the power to fix it. You could choose to direct your administration to vigorously enforce the laws on the books today, thereby stemming the tide of illegal immigration and protecting our communities. Absolutely right. The whole purpose of bringing this up is House Republicans are going, hey, Biden, why don't you fix the border? While at the same time, you're creating policy, or in other words, bills here, and passing legislation that doesn't solve the border either. So you're just doing the same thing the Democrats are doing. We talked about this when Karine Jean-Pierre was on the podium. She had 2 plasma screens behind her that detailed out what Joe Biden wanted to do. And most of it was just transporting illegal aliens to different sectors at the border or into the interior of the country. And we covered that at length here on the show. They're doing the exact same thing. They still want 5,000 a day to come through. And we know more is going to come through because nothing in there actually locks up the border and figures it out. Holy lordy. So you have hesitant Republicans could derail Mayorkas' impeachment effort. They don't have a backbone. And we're electing these guys. It's so wild. House GOP leaders are closely watching a few Republican lawmakers ahead of their expected vote on whether to impeach Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas next week. Why is this even a talking thing? Like, how is this news? With just a razor-thin majority and all Democrats likely to oppose the measure, which is no shock. It shows you how lost Democrats are. But really, Republicans? Republicans will have to be in near lockstep to pass what would be a historic vote. A cabinet official has not been impeached since 1876. Look, yeah, okay, it's happened like one time before or whatever. But Joe Biden has broken so many records, he doesn't have enough space to hold all his trophies for the records he's broken at the border. So you have this person, Ken Buck, telling reporters that he is solid no on impeaching Mayorkas. So you know what? Here you go. If you're from Colorado, this dude does not need to be reelected. Go ahead and give him a phone call today. See, all of this, you guys, we don't make phone calls anymore. I don't want to waste my time or whatever. No. Just call Ken Buck up. And I'll try and find his information down below and put in the description. Yeah, give him a call. Even if you don't live in Colorado, give him a call and say, you're not getting my vote anymore. You're done. Buck criticized the Biden official for his handling of the southern border crisis, but said that people that I'm talking to on the other side, the constitutional experts, forum members agree that this just isn't an impeachable offense. For a dereliction of duty, the guy isn't doing his job and he's lied to Congress. Really, it's not an impeachable offense? Sounds like you don't have a backbone, man. Is that what it sounds like? So what we need to do is find out all the Republicans that aren't willing to impeach this guy right here for a dereliction of duty. And quite frankly, we should find all the Republicans as well that aren't willing to impeach Joe Biden. You guys, look what they did to Donald Trump. The dude didn't pay a parking ticket. Grand jury impeachment. The guy fumbles through his words once. Oh, he's unfit to hold office. 25th Amendment. Shakes his hand with a glass of water. Oh, God, another 25th. Bring in the cabinet. Joe Biden is looking for dead people in the crowd. He said he had full-on conversations with a dead person that died in 1996. He said he looked at him and he was conversing. Where's the 25th Amendment on that bad boy? He was looking for a freaking congresswoman in the crowd. Are you serious right now? Things are so ass backwards. It's insane. It's insane. Speaking of ass backwards, we're doing an episode later today. I'm going to start trying to upload multiple stuff throughout the day again, like we did before, where we had like 2 or 3 videos out a day at least. Sometimes we had 5 videos out a day. It just shows the craziness of it all. We have a clip of Bill Maher coming out at 1 p.m. today, Pacific Standard Time, that just shows how Democrats try to rationalize their insane voting behavior on how they vote in politicians, that they want them to change a specific type of behavior, but that very politician that they either voted into office or reelected in office just continues to exacerbate or make worse a problem of which they either created or just made worse in the first place. So wait till we get to that clip a little bit later today. Again, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Check that one out. Folks, look, either we're going to make the difference as Americans and come together and go, enough's enough. I'm going to stop electing these officials that are screwing and reaming me from behind. They shouldn't be reelected in the first place just for their handling of our deficit, our budget. So it's our fault at the end of the day. It is, you guys. It's our fault, including mine. Because I should be calling these. I mean, granted, it's not my congressmen or women that are doing this, but if they were, I'd be calling them up and saying, you're not getting my vote. Like, you're not getting my vote, and I will vocalize on my channel why you shouldn't get my vote to these localities. So let me know what you think about this one in the comment section below. Always great hanging out with you, Patriots, and we'll be back tomorrow here with another episode of The Ball Brad Show.